It's a huge trend for the Democratic Party supporting illegal immigrants. They want illegal immigrants here so bad that they don't care if these illegal immigrants are murderers, pedophiles. They want to stir the pot and get rid of law and order, get rid of the justice system to the point where judges are doing whatever the hell they want to release criminals while they're in the process of trying to seek justice for the victims in their own courtrooms.
Another example of the robed resistance, but now caught on camera. The Angle brought you this story as it happened. An activist judge in Milwaukee allegedly helping an illegal alien accused of assault evade arrest by ICE agents. The new footage released by Milwaukee County in response to an open records request shows two plainclothes ICE agents waiting outside the judge's courtroom to identify and arrest Eduardo Flores Ruiz. Judge Hannah Dugan got word of their presence and came out to confront them. Now, according to the complaint, the agents and judge disagreed over the type of warrant needed for the arrest. So Judge Dugan sent them to the chief judge's office. Then she went further down the hallway where more plainclothes agents were waiting and sent them to the same office. At this point, the complaint says the judge escorted Flores Ruiz and his attorney through the jury door into a non-public area of the courthouse. The illegal alien is then seen on camera walking through the hallway and out the jury door. But guess what? The judge didn't find all the ICE agents. They follow Flores Ruiz all the way outside, and he takes off running. But they nabbed him, and Judge Dugan's nasty scheme failed. She's now facing federal charges for obstruction of proceedings and for concealing a person to prevent arrest. Here to react to this crazy story is Jonathan Fahey, former acting ICE director, and Rich Zeoli, host of The Rich Zeoli Show. Jonathan, let's start with...
The judge needs to go to prison for this. There's no exceptions. In the position that she has in this country, and she got appointed to be a judge, and doing this type of illegal activity of releasing criminals out back into the street it's unforgivable.
With this, so the judge here pleaded not guilty, but she's on camera. So how is that going to work for her? You tell me.
She's an airhead.
Well, yeah, that's standard typically for a defendant to plead not guilty. But the video really shows some appalling behavior on a part of this judge. And what's really amazing about this, and it doesn't get probably enough attention, is this person was facing 3 assault charges in which 2 people were hospitalized as a result of this. So this judge walked him out the door knowing he wasn't coming back to her court or anywhere else because he knew he had an ICE warrant out for him. So it's really absolutely outrageous that she did this. And what's even more outrageous is the Democratic Party, by and large, is supporting her illegal behavior. And it's really another example of the Democratic Party, this judge in particular, putting the safety of their citizens behind the interests of illegal aliens. But the whole thing is appalling, and her defense is probably going to be she filed a judicial immunity motion, but that's ultimately going to fail, and she's really going to have to face the consequences of her actions, I believe.
And Rich, just to reiterate, it's important to note that she may have even obstructed justice to the victims of Flores Ruiz's 3 misdemeanor battery charges. She allegedly chose not to hold a hearing for him and kept his victims awaiting in the courthouse. So I can't wrap my head around this. So the judge here, you have alleged victims of domestic abuse waiting in the courtroom to get their justice. But then she chooses the illegal alien that she sees as a victim. So, how do Democrats identify who a victim is these days?
Yeah, well, the Democrats are always on the side of the illegal alien in every instance, right? They don't care about the victims. We saw this with the Laken Riley Act. They just don't care. But this obstruction by this judge, very similar to the Democrats in Newark, New Jersey, right? Obstructing ICE agents, shoving ICE agents, the mayor of Newark wanting to get arrested. Lisa, they're doing this. They want this confrontation. They want to be the resistance. And these judges think, what? I have a black robe. I can do whatever I want. I'm a member of Congress. I can do whatever I want. No, this is their whole idea. They want to be famous, and they're getting famous, right? They're getting all this media attention. They're making money. They're raising money off of this. The reality is the Democrat Party, if they're going to die on this hill, they're going to keep dying because the American people do not want to stand with criminal illegal aliens. They want to stand with the victims and their families, and they want justice. And they see this as what it is, Lisa, political theater.
And just to tee this up for the audience at home, this is so bad that the illegal alien allegedly strangled one of the victims. That's how bad this domestic abuse, was and took place. All right, so Jonathan, the judge randomly assigned to Judge Dugan's case is Lynn Edelman. In 2020, he wrote in the Harvard Law Review, ripping into the hard-right Supreme Court, and he said Trump has the temperament of an autocrat, and that Trump is disinclined to buck the wealthy individuals and corporations who control his party. So I feel like all of this with both of these judges just undercut this broader concern from conservatives that these judges are so biased and incapable of doing their jobs.
Yeah, it really does raise that concern when a judge makes those sorts of public statements. It does show, can they really be fair and impartial if they're so politically motivated? And I think that's a concern in this case, particularly with the judicial immunity motion that this judge has filed. Fortunately for the Trump administration, if this judge rules against him on that motion, they'll be able to appeal it to a higher court, and ultimately they're going to prevail because no serious court is going to say a judge has immunity to obstruct justice and sneak violent criminal defendants out the courthouse door. It's an utterly absurd motion, and that's really her core defense at this point. But I think the overall point is really scary is the Democrats have gone from defaming law enforcement, defaming ICE, to now essentially sanctioning violence in Newark and sanctioning obstructing justice here in Milwaukee. And it really is a troubling trend. And just this year, the assaults on ICE agents have gone up, I think, 413%. And really a lot of the rhetoric contributes to this.
Yeah, and Rich, to Jonathan's point, I mean, speaking of these Democrats protecting criminal illegals, Congressman Glenn Ivey of Maryland will travel to El Salvador to check on Kilmar Abrigo Garcia. And in a lengthy statement, he said this, or his office said this, that he's going to meet with leaders, officials, and hopefully my constituent. This president and administration needs to prove their assertions under oath and in court. Last time I checked, an illegal alien is not a constituent. Am I missing something?
No,
Rich?
you're not missing anything. And the question I have is it going to be margarita or skinny margarita with Kilmar Abrigo Garcia? These Democrats look like fools, Lisa. They're going down to El Salvador to try to bring back to America a criminal. Like, we have enough criminals in this country. The purpose of immigration, as you know, is to bring in people who America needs. We don't need more wife beaters. We don't need more domestic abusers. We don't need more criminals. We have plenty. And the American people want these people gone. The fact that a Democrat would choose to travel to another country to try to get a citizen of another country back into this country who happens to be a criminal shows you just how crazy the left has become. I mean, they are so out of touch with the American people. Who in their right mind would sit around at a bar and go, yeah, you know what? This is definitely what you guys should do. Go and bring a criminal back to the United States of America. We applaud you. We stand with you. They are so completely out of touch with the American people.
For the record, I would do a skinny margarita.
Would you do a skinny?
It's almost summertime, you've got to.
Oh my God. Okay, so he mentioned wife beater, and he's speaking still in line with Garcia, who's been deported to El Salvador. His wife did put a restraining order on him a few years ago, and still she is trying to figure out ways to bring him back, which it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Now you have Democrats that better not be using taxpayer money to fly themselves over to El Salvador to go speak with their criminal constituent and trying to bring them back to the United States. It's just the American people don't want that. And it's a huge trend for the Democratic Party supporting illegal immigrants. They want illegal immigrants here so bad that they don't care if these illegal immigrants are murderers, pedophiles, anything. These criminals, they want to stir the pot and get rid of law and order, get rid of the justice system to the point where judges are doing whatever the hell they want to release criminals while they're in the process of trying to seek justice for the victims in their own courtrooms. When this judge is in court, she better say that she was threatened in order for her to do what she did. She was threatened with her life in order to do what she did. There is no other explanation why any judge would be breaking the law to allow these illegal immigrants to just run away from the law. And ICE was there; they were ready. They surrounded the entire building. They weren't going to deal with that. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments below. Like and subscribe; I would appreciate it. Till next time, peace out, everybody.